Hello, we'd like to do a little history of STAT. We are fortunate at this conference in Houston to have two people, pioneers of Science Teachers Association in Texas. We have Frank Butcher, our current exhibits manager, has been doing this for a long time, and also Robert Kelly. So we're going to turn the mic over to them, and they're going to share with us their memories of how STAT started.
I was president of STAT, I think, in 1972. Actually served 2 terms. But back in those early days, in the early 70s and before, CAST was held at the Terrace Motor Hotel. And the Terrace Motor Hotel closed. And so we had to scramble to get a new location, and the leadership at that time chose the Villa Capri. The problem with going to the Villa Capri was they had no openings in the fall, so our cast was scheduled for February. And that February came a snowstorm, and attendance was very low, naturally. And the University of Texas, who at that time ran CAST, really, it wasn't run by the teachers at all. It was run by the University of Texas. And they said, okay, next year's conference, which was going to be in February also, we're not going to have it. We're just not going to have a CAST next year. And I was president at that time, and we said, yes, we are. So we ended up going, we had some really good people to help. Robert Beck Clark was on the faculty at Texas A&M, and he says, we can accommodate you. So the next cast was at Texas A&M University, and not only did we start changing locations, this was the start. Until this time, we only had cast in Austin. It was never anyplace else. But with this move, we started moving around the state, bringing CAST to teachers in various locations instead of just in that one spot. And we also, at that time, changed the format of CAST. Before, it seemed to be mostly University of Texas professors showing up and giving lectures about their research, which had very little interest to the teachers, so attendance stayed small, usually around 200 people. But when we moved to Texas A&M, we went to a workshop format where teachers presented sessions, and in those sessions the teachers got concrete ideas that they could use in the classroom when they went back to school the next day. And the teachers loved it, and they have loved it ever since. And our attendance tripled in that first year. So it was a big deal. Robert, do you have a memories?
Yeah, I just add a little bit to that. I go back to started in '68 with Addison Wesley in Texas and attending those meetings. And those days, math and science was together. We called it CASMT, C-A-S-M-T, Conference for Math and Science. It's split probably, I'm thinking around 1970, 68 to 70, somewhere along there. And then that's where Frank picked it up. And it's been a wonderful organization. It's been really good for teachers, been good for kids. So yeah, this is about 45 years of these science meetings for me, and hopefully a few more.
And who were some of the primary pioneers that brought the groups together, the membership together?
The people that I worked with, of course, primarily was Bob Clark. He was a real moving force, and I don't know what we could have done without him. So he deserves a lot of credit for bringing CAST into the modern era, if you want to call it that. Gerald Skog was there. He was, I think, vice president when I was president.
Dr. Skog.
Yeah, and he was an important person in all of this happening. Those are the guys that I remember.
Any other?
Not just off the top of my head. There were a lot of them. The agency staff, Jimmy.
Yeah, Joe Huckstein. I remember Joe Huckstein was
Joe Huckstein and a lot of the agency staff, they were always very involved in it. Did a really good job.
It's all done by volunteers.
Yeah.
There are no pays.
Right.
Yeah, as a sidelight to this, I've been exhibits manager for about 40 years now, and it all started my very first cast. I presided over 2 cast conferences, and the very first one I delegated out the responsibilities of exhibit manager to a person that I won't name, who had been president of the Science Supervisors Association, and he did a good job, except he kept our money. We couldn't get the money back from him. So the second cast, I decided, no, I am going to do this job myself. So I started doing the exhibits that second cast, and been doing it ever since.
And we appreciate all you do, Frank.
Publishers
We
always
do.
think of him as Mr. Cast.
Mr. Cast, Frank Butcher, Robert Kelly, thank you very much. We appreciate it.